Hi everybody, this is page 2 of your blue folder, and let's just start with probably some of the easiest stuff real quick. Start down here at the bottom with x-intercept and y-intercept. So remember, if we have a graph, we're just going to draw a graph right here, and we have a line, let's just say it's this line right here. X-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. X-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So our x-intercept is this green one that I just put on there. Okay? X-intercept happens when y is equal to 0. Okay? To find an x-intercept from an equation, you're just going to replace y, or the phrase f of x, and we'll talk about that in a second, with 0 and solve for x. Okay? So let's say I have 3x plus 4y equals 12. If I want the x-intercept, I'm going to substitute y as 0. So I would say 3x, let me zoom in a little bit on what I'm writing, plus 4 times 0 equals 12, and then I would solve it. So 4 times 0 is just 0, so 3x equals 12, so x equals 4. So that's the x-intercept. Okay? Alright, now let's talk about y-intercept. So y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. That says y-intercept, by the way. Can't really read it because it's in orange highlighter. Okay, y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And the y-intercept happens when x is 0. And to find the y-intercept from an equation, you're going to replace x with 0 and solve for y. So on the same problem, if I were looking to find the y-intercept, I'm going to say 3 times, whoops, I forgot to write y-intercept first. Sorry. Excuse me. So we write y-intercept, and we'll say, excuse me, 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. And then that's 0. So 4y equals 12, and so then we would divide by 4, so y equals 3. So that's the y-intercept. Okay? So that's how you do x and y-intercept. Now let's talk about function notation for just a second. So swirl this around over here. Remember, if I'm going too fast, slow that video down by pushing stop. Okay, f of x is just a fancy way of saying y equals. Fancy way of saying y equals. That's all function notation is. So if I have f of x equals 3x squared plus 2x, and I wanted to find f of negative 7, the thing that changed was the x. So what you're going to do is you're going to take negative 7 and you're going to write it everywhere you see x. So you would say 3 parentheses negative 7 squared plus 2 parentheses negative 7. And you have to use parentheses, okay, because you don't want to get it wrong because you didn't use them. So use parentheses, okay? Now you just type this on your calculator and you get that f of negative 7 is 133. And you could write it as an ordered pair. The number that's inside the parentheses, that is x, and the number that comes out, that is y. So that's your ordered pair. Okay? Easy. Zoom in, you can push pause, look at it. Sorry I didn't zoom in from the beginning. But it's pretty simple. All you're doing is instead of writing x, you're putting -7 everywhere you see x. Okay? Alright. Excuse me. Alright, let's move on to this little book. We're going to do slope and intercept practice. So the first thing I want to do is go find the x-intercept for all of them. So that's where it crosses the x-axis, right? So x-intercept, that's going to be where it touches the x-axis. So here we go, we've got touches the x-axis at 2, so this is at 2, 0. This one touches the x-axis at -1, so it's -1, 0. Next page. This one touches the x-axis at 1, 2, 3, 4, so this is 4, 0. This one touches the x-axis at -3, so it's -3, 0. This one touches the x-axis at 1, almost. Sorry, -1, it's a little off, so -1, 0. This one touches the x-axis at +1, so it's 1, 0. So x-intercept, where does it touch the x-axis at? Super duper easy. Now let's go back, let's do y-intercept, same way. But this time it's going to be 0 first because it's when x is 0. So this one touches the y-axis at 1, so it's 0, 1. This one touches the y-axis at -2, so it's 0, -2. This one touches the y-axis at -2, so it's also 0, -2. This one touches the y-axis at -2, so it's also 0, -2. This one touches the y-axis at, well, we'll just say 1. So this is 0, 1. And this one touches the y-axis at -1, so we'll say 0, -1. Now, we're going to find the slope. Okay, remember, slope is just rise over run. And then don't forget, what would slope dude say? So the first thing I'd ask myself before I do any of my slopes is, what would slope dude say? So here, he would say nice negative. I'm going to come down where it says slope, I'm going to put a negative. Okay, and now I'm going to find my rise over my run. So this is 1 and this is 2. You just pick any 2 points and you find your slope. So this is 1 over 2. It's rise over run. Here, same thing. Draw my triangle between the 2 points. And this is 2, this is 1. Nice negative, so this is -2 over 1. The slope goes down 2 over 1. The next one. This one is a positive slope, so I'm going to put a positive sign. It's 2 high, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 across. So this one is 2 over 4. That simplifies to 1/2. 2 over 4. Rise over run. Okay, this one, 2 and 4, nope, 3. 2 up and 3 across. This one's a nice negative, so this is going to be -2 over 3. Okay. Last two. This one's a positive slope, and it's 1 and 1. So this is 1 over 1, which is just 1. Same thing with this one. Positive slope, 1 over 1, which is just 1. Okay. That is the video for page 2. Make sure you've got all this stuff down. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks for watching.